All right, welcome to the show. This is going to be awesome. What is this, the fifth or sixth Gifts for Architects? I don't even know anymore.
Have we done them all the time, or did we kind of like pick it up like a little?
I think we started after a few years into it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Let's call this
probably
number
five or
4 or
six.
5. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I'll go with
Anyway,
7 or 8. You go with 5
okay, that sounds
or
good.
4.
So, welcome to the Archispeak Gifts for Architects 2020. And we're doing a little bit different this year in that we're doing kind of the normal audio version where you'll be able to get all the links to these in our show notes, which will be in your podcast player or on our website at archispeakpodcast.com. But we're also doing a video version because there's going to be things we're going to want to do a little show and tell. And, we want to share our desktop and show people what we're talking about. So we're doing both. We're gonna hit both bases this time.
All right. So
So
you're
it's gonna be
showing
fun.
and telling.
Yes. You talk.
Okay.
I show. I hope I have what you're going to talk about laying around here. If that's the case.
Well, if nothing else, I will have a few. I've got plenty of links to pull up
Awesome.
and share.
All
Very
right.
good.
You just turned your camera off,
How did I do that?
or it turned off all by itself.
That's fun.
Here, I just turned you back on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So why don't you go first, man? Let's hit
All
us
right.
with your first gift.
So I've been thinking that obviously this is almost a home for the holidays type show where at least a lot of the things that I was looking at gift wise were things that were going to be things that might be able to help us both cope with the 2020 syndrome
Yes.
and also just, work well. And actually, so I'm going to do a little bit different. And so let me do this before you click on there. So I'm
Okay.
going to actually do one where the link that I'm going to share and the link that in a show and tell, obviously,
Uh-huh.
that I'm going to do is you and I've talked about this in many of the recent episodes. Talked about, well, how do we we're visual learners. We like to sketch. We like to talk about things, but now we're in a digital world. Not everybody has, an iPad or a tablet PC or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that the office got me that I really actually like is and if you want to go ahead and pull up that
Here
particular,
it goes.
oh,
There it
okay.
is.
So,
Is that your bird?
oh my. For some reason, did it lock up?
No, I can still see it. Is
Is
it
it?
having a hard time keeping up?
It seems like it's having a hard time keeping up, but
Well, we can see what it is here.
okay. And I would like to pull it out and do a little Vanna White here.
Yeah, let's go full screen here. Okay, so show us what you got.
So Vanna White here. Oops, wrong
I'm
direction.
gonna flip these around. There we go.
So
Oh, nice.
this is the XP Pro 13 XP Pen
Uh-huh.
Pro 13.3 inch tablet, and I've been using it a lot. Comes with its own stylus and everything else. I've been using it a lot because I've been sketching a lot. I've been redlining a lot, and a lot of times when I pull out my little notebooks and do all those kind of things, those are great. But then I have to take a photograph of it, send it off, and everything else. And a lot of the times, I've talked about this in the past where I'll just grab a piece of paper and start sketching something and then say, oh, here, this is what I want, to talk about.
And hold it up to the camera.
but and holding it up to the camera is not the best solution. So the next best thing to being there with a piece of paper in front of somebody is to kind of have some kind of tablet type, element. And so in this particular case, that's what I decided to use as kind of my gift number one. And
so that's a Wacom?
No, actually, it is a different brand.
Okay.
And it is and it's from XP Pen is the company.
Okay.
And the particular model that I am using, which is coming up on a Cyber Monday deal, and not to shill it out, is like I said, is the XP Pen Artist 13.3.
That's a nice size screen. That's cool.
It is. It's a nice size screen.
And is it just going into USB?
USB. Yeah, so it's got a USB-C connection. Nice. Quick and simple. The touch is really nice. The hand, not like recognition, but derecognition, whatever it's called.
Rejection. I think it's palm rejection or something.
Palm rejection. Yeah. Thank you. You're right. I would have been chastised otherwise. And it's a really good. It flows well. You can work on a bunch of different things.
That's cool, man.
It works with virtually everything. Yeah, love it. I can't say enough about it. Awesome. I'm actually pretty surprised. And unfortunately, because I am in the PC world, I do have to get peripheries like this, but this is a really good one.
Nice. Well, that's great. And the price is pretty amazing. $250.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. All right. We'll keep this moving here quickly. Next up, I'm going to share my screen. And again, for those of you who are just listening along, I will describe this as good as I can.
Ooh, I know what this is.
Yeah, this is fun. I actually just got this for my birthday. And for those of you who are watching the video version, it's right back here on my shelf. Grab it here and hold it up to the camera. It was super fun to put this together. My son bought this for my birthday, which was just before Thanksgiving. And I think we've probably talked about Legos on the show before. And for those of you, again, for those of you who are listening, Lego Star Wars Stormtrooper helmet building kit is what this is called. It's on sale for $48 right now. It's a solid chunk of Lego. It's probably half the size of full scale. And it is like a bust of a Stormtrooper head. They also have a Boba Fett version, which I have here as well. I can just show it to you. My son bought this one for himself, so we each built one as we put these together. And they also have this one, which I would love to get, which is the Star Wars TIE Fighter pilot helmet, which just looks sinister and cool. And so, like I said, we've talked about Legos before, I'm sure quite a bit, and about just kind of, I don't know if I mentioned this, but at our house we have Legos, and then we have what we consider to be Lamos. And Lamos are they're those Legos that are just specifically for that one kid, right? Like they're not great to use in like really creative Lego type situations. And I have to say, like, this kit here didn't have very many Lamos in it. And I also have to say that it was just pretty cathartic to just put together something in following directions and not having to like stir up all the creative juices to build it. That was a really fun project, actually.
And probably, it was probably a relief. It's like, the default is, let me get a Lego architectural set.
Right.
And, to kind of open up and say,
he said he looked for that. Yeah. He said, I was trying to find a Lego, but I couldn't find any architecture one. So he's like, I knew you would love this one. And it was awesome. So yeah, I mean, two thumbs up for sure. It was super cool. We got to do it together. And we just, like we said, we just kind of followed directions. The booklets are amazing. The instructions are amazing. It's like a master class in a set of drawings of like how to assemble something. I just think it's amazing how they've just got this totally down. It's super cool. So we'll have links to all of those in the show notes. All right, man, you're up.
All right. Well, I am going to give us a little bit of a shout out to our friend of the show, but just a friend, period. And this is Lora Teagarden's new book, which is rocketing on the I guess the Amazon bestseller list for
the rankings.
For the rankings, and it is the Little Architect's Alphabet,
This was on my list too. I have to say, you just beat me to it.
Peaches. See, I was going to have this as number one, but I was like, let's start high, then go higher.
Higher price. Yeah.
But and if you guys don't know Lora Teagarden, well, first shame on you, but also she did a great series of sketchbooks that were for the ARE sketches, which were fantastic. And I actually gifted a couple of them to people who are taking the test and put them in our office library. And now I have another book to get. And this is her Little Architect's Alphabet, which is, just flipping through and looking at, some of the things, it's fantastic. But in this particular case, I'm not going to, because it'll probably bog my computer down and slow us down.
Well, what I love about this is I've been seeing people post on Twitter and Instagram pictures of little kids reading this book. And that is like, that's got to be selling books right there. I mean, but it's also a testament to the effectiveness of what Lora has done here. And I didn't know she was working on this until it came out. And I'm just right? How did I miss this?
Right. And I will say this, that, anytime you share the screen with, Iggy Peck Architect, which I absolutely love. I've gone into my wife's classroom many a time, and they'll have like mystery reader and stuff, and I'll come in, and of course I will read Iggy Peck. Well, now I've got a new book to read.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool.
Beat you to it.
All right. Well, okay. So now I'm gonna, since you went that direction, I now must also go this direction. So let's share this one, and I'm gonna share the Marilyn Modinger's Runcible Studios website, their shop, and they've got so many cool things on here. I had to share it, and we'll have links to this in the show notes. But I personally love her door swings t-shirt and the line weights t-shirt. So let's take a look at those real quick.
Women of Architecture t-shirt. I absolutely love that.
I love that one too. So I love this door swings t-shirt. And let's go back a page and let's get the line weights, because this is where we come from. I mean, I just love the line weights t-shirt. It's got the different layer names with the lines in the colors and from AutoCAD. And then here's the Women's of Architecture shirt with all the names on there. And that's just awesome as well. So and I love that we both have links here where we're supporting people in our community, which is really cool. I'm really happy that we can do that. And they're putting out quality stuff.
And so actually I was going to put on, because we know a lot of people are, going back into lockdown, and, the things are starting to crank back up. I also wanted to put as part of that link, and I don't know if you want to pull it up, but she does face masks as well. And they're just beautifully done face masks.
All right. I'm going to go back to this, and there are a few great ones on here. There's the Runcible mask blue with gold circles, which is really cool.
I mean, they're just fantastic.
And I love the eyeshadow here. It's awesome. I mean, obviously Marilyn's a designer. Such cool stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So they're just like absolutely fantastic. So, and the great thing about them is that, and this was one of the things that kind of drew me to them, is that they don't actually go behind your ears. They actually kind of go, back behind your head, and are, to me, look far more snug and actually work a lot better.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, links to her store in the show notes for sure.
Sorry, I kind of have one of my sons just walked in the door.
Well, we are working from home. So.
We are working from home. I kind of like gave him the,
the lockdown symbol. Yeah. Hey, you cut it. All right, it's your turn.
All right. So I am going to go with, since we, let's see, all right.
I'm just going. You got to keep up.
Gonna go. Anyway, we're working from home, and we don't have that, gather around the coffee, maker kind of thing. But I don't know about, actually, sorry, I do know about your office, and I do know that you guys do coffee, like you're serious about it. You've got cold coffee or hot coffee.
We've got cold brew. We've got nitro. Yes.
So you guys are very serious about it, and we're not there, but we are trying, and we have an espresso machine and at the office, but it's not, and then of course like just all of the other ones, and I and I miss it. I miss it, badly, and so.
My coffee's better at home, I do have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so do you have one of these?
I don't, and actually, this is one of my hints to my wife, because
she doesn't listen to the show.
Does she? She doesn't listen to the show, but it is in my gifts for Cormac list.
Nice. Okay.
Because but it is definitely one that I have in there, for the simple fact that I don't actually have one of these, and I do want one of these because both she and I drink coffee all the time, and we need a So,
I make my coffee 1 cup at a time, just like this, and there are times when I wish I had something that can make more coffee and just have it around like it is at the office, and you just walk up to the bar and grab it and go. But I also really like taking time away from the computer screen to do something. And
because we have our, my father lived and died by the whole tried and true Mr. Coffee, drip coffee maker. And I loved it. I mean, it was just one of those things that he had going on all the time. And so I, so that's the one I have. I have the 12-cup Mr. Coffee drip machine. And I, use the good old German brew.
That's awesome.
So I tried to zhuzh it up a little.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go back now to another friend of within our architectural community, and I'm going to recommend Andrew Heumann's generative pen drawings. And what's really cool about this, and I don't know if you can see it on the shelf back here, but I've got some of these 3D prints that I've printed out, and I really firmly believe in taking the stuff that we're doing and putting it out into the world in analog or real world items. So these are some generative design stuff that I did in Rhino and Grasshopper, and then I printed them out. And these are fantastic things to have on your desk when people walk by and they like to fiddle, pick up something and play with it, and it's a conversation starter. Well, the same thing I think holds true for Andrew's generative pen drawing. So he started doing this kind of art before anybody even knew what a generative artist was, probably. And what he does is he kind of builds these scripts that in Rhino and Grasshopper, instead of building architectural stuff, they're building this artwork. And then he sends it to a pen plotter that he has on his desk. And I grew up with a pen plotter, and there's just something really mesmerizing about watching a pen plotter do its thing, right? So I'm sure that's pretty cool for him, because he's got this thing set up and he makes these. And if you kind of scroll through the gallery, these prints can be purchased, and there's lots of really great, and they're monochromatic, meaning there's only one pen color. It's just black, but he's come up with these ways to represent what is geometry on the screen in a 2D way. And the way that the shading works, he's written all these different algorithms that do some really, really amazing stuff. And I think a lot of these are kind of very Bob Rossian, if I had to say a way, in that they're kind of happy little accidents, right? Like you just, when you're creating these algorithms to output something, you kind of know what you're going to get, but you also stumble upon some really interesting output types. And I love some of these, and I'm definitely going to be ordering for this holiday season. So we'll have a link to Andrew's web store where you can order these generative art prints. And for those of you who are listening, you really got to go to this link and check them out. I think any architect would really, really dig these. So highly recommended.
All right. Well, so we can jump right on into it. And mine is to, kind of piggyback off of my last one, which was the coffee maker. Well, I mean, we're not heathens, right? And we need a milk frother. And so a friend of mine actually has one of these, and we've house sat for them before, and of course I was gonna use it. I was like, ooh, there's one, and I used it, and I was just like, wait, why? I always ask myself, why don't I have one of them? I've got the very, like I said, I've got the Mr. Coffee Maker and stuff like that, but I need to up my coffee game a little. And so I believe that this is one of those things that, again, is in that, hints for Cormac gifts to my wife. And in this one right here, I really like the design of it. It's a simple, nice design, and it's actually a good price.
Nice. So this is a Miroco milk frother.
Miroco milk.
I can't say that very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I have a couple different directions we could go. Do you want to go more down kind of your work from home thread that you started with the pen? Oh, sorry.
Get that off.
Okay.
That's not anything
I wasn't
that you
ready
need to be looking at yet.
Should we go down the work from home avenue, or should we go down the tools avenue? You pick.
Let's go work from home.
Okay. All right, here we go.
We are still doing that, right?
We are for quite a while, it seems. All right, so the first one, this one is nostalgic for me, and because I grew up on, my very first Macs had these keyboards with very clicky keys with long distance travel every time you push the button. Yeah. And now I've recently gotten back into this, and this is the one that I've got. It's a Keychron K2 Bluetooth mechanical keyboard. It's 84 keys, so it's more keys than kind of my Apple normal Magic keyboard. It's got some pretty cool dedicated switches for like screenshots, page up, page down. It's all the stuff that's missing from the regular tiny keyboards, but it's also not the full 10 key extended keyboard. It's wireless. It does have RGB LEDs, which are obscenely crazy making. So I just have like this nice glowing red backlight or a white backlight and keep it very simple. Yeah. One of the reasons I wanted this is because there are many times when I don't want the lights full on in my studio.
True.
And I still want to see what I'm typing. So I wanted a backlit keyboard, and the keyboard in my laptop is backlit, but my laptop is raised up off the desk, and because I want my monitor and my camera up higher. So this has been pretty cool. I mean, the downside to a keyboard like this is the keys are loud to type on, right? So here you go. That's what it sounds like. And I could, if you're on Zoom calls all day, that could be annoying. You can get these with quieter switches if you wanted to. But again, like, this is kind of nostalgic to me. I also think, a lot of people are put off because a lot of gamers are buying these things and stuff. But like, this one is, if you look at the photo here, you can see it's like, it's shades of gray. It's got an orange escape key. That's it. That's the only pop of color this thing has. It's not obnoxious to look at. And, it's been a really cool kind of keyboard to have. And I'll hold it up for the camera because there it is right there.
Totally feels very old school. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, but it also has the modern conveniences. It does have these little legs so you can prop it up and get it up off the desk if you like a different angle, if you don't want it flat. And my son actually just recently started building mechanical keyboards. So he's the one who got me started on this. He's soldering the switches onto the PCB, and he's doing everything from, he's ordering the parts from specialty suppliers in Japan. So I didn't want to go that route. I didn't want to pay him $250 to buy one of those from him because he's ordering all these special parts. This one right now is $75 on Amazon for Cyber Monday. It's 20% off. It's normally $84 or $94, something like that. So there you go. I mean, I think it's cool. Mine does have all the Mac specific keys for the keyboard brightness up and down, for mission control, for playing and pausing Apple Music. But there's also the Windows version. There's actually just a switch on the side. You go between Mac and Windows, and it comes with a key puller, and you can put the Windows specific keys on this. So Mac or Windows, you really can't go wrong. So
nice.
It's
so
cool.
Let me ask you one real quick question. So your son is making these mechanical keyboards.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure he's, investing a lot of time and money and stuff like that, but he's building them at your house, right?
Yeah.
So you're supplying him with electricity and a workspace and all this other stuff.
Are you thinking that there's a trade in order here?
Why is he exactly? Why would you have to buy any of that? I believe that he should just make you one.
I believe you are correct. Let's leave it at that.
So I mean, there's a little give and take here. Come on.
Yeah. All right, you're up.
All right, so a little bit more work from home, and the light that is actually, on right now, kind of providing me the light, and I just absolutely love these. Had them at work. I have one sitting right here. Is the Koncept Z Bar, and it's just a fantastic light. Love it. It's
amazing what they're doing with LEDs these days. I love the design that's coming out of these industrial designers. Work, especially in lighting, just amazing stuff.
And it's a totally robust light. It is fantastic. You basically you just run your finger across the thing to dim it and really bright or really dim and things like that. And so right now with where I'm sitting, other than the little leg lamp behind me, whichever side it's on, and this the Z Bar is the only lights that I'm using right now, and most of the time, because I'm either up late or working late, or now because it gets dark at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's dark outside, then and it's after 5 right now. This is enough light for me, but it's a fantastic light. It's a good warm light, even though it's LED. It's not like this bright white kind of light.
Again, they're doing amazing stuff with the color. Yeah.
And so I mean, this one to me, I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, we're working from home, and what are some of the gifts? It's like, well, everybody's going to have like their own take on like the type of chair or the type of desk, whether it's standing or sitting or anything else. But I mean, not a lot of love is ever really given to lights, and we absolutely need them. I mean, not everybody can have a cool lightsaber in the background.
Yeah, I mean, look at this LED stuff that like this thing, like it'll animate, it'll go full Vegas on you if you want. And I'm not obviously doing that, but just to add some interest to the room, this entire room is lit with LEDs. So the warm color that you're seeing on this video right now is just a warm LED panel. And my cans that I have in the ceiling, I mean, they're all LED, and they're 1/2 an inch thick. I mean, they're just amazing what's going on in the LED world for lighting right now. Super cool. And they just don't take any energy either. So it's great stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool desk lamp, man. All right. Well, I'll keep it going here with the work from home kind of thing. And we've talked about this on the show before, but we've talked about how audio quality, video quality is the new suit, the new business attire, as we might say. And one of the ways that you can achieve that, if you have a camera laying around with HDMI output, is to get one of these. And it's an Elgato Camlink. This one goes up to 4K resolution. You don't need to use it at 4K resolution. You could do it at 720 or 1080. $120. And this thing basically allows you to do what I'm doing right now, which is all this video, instead of coming through my crappy little laptop webcam, is coming through my Lumix GH5, which is my still camera that I use. Well, it's movies and still. So all I do is put that thing into movie mode, and it's outputting right into the Camlink, which you can see here is a USB plug right into the computer. The computer sees it as an input for video and audio. And you can use it on Zoom, you can use it on Teams, you can use it for live streaming, you can use it for whatever you want. And the nice thing about it is, obviously, the lenses on those cameras are way better for capturing a low light situation. And you can get some depth of field. So it just makes the scene look nicer. And so if this really is the new business attire, you got to upgrade your image. This is a great way to do it. Most people have a camera laying around. You can set it up on a tripod and just get this little device and plug it right into your computer.
Just laying around anywhere.
Just, you're not out taking photos with it, probably.
Yeah, just laying around.
Just reach behind you and grab that broken Fuji.
Oh no. Nothing.
Yep,
broken.
there it is.
Although,
so that you could just plug that thing right into your computer with this guy.
This would be a gift in its own right, just for anybody who's to, right now they are actually the XT3 Fuji, and this isn't, anything that I had up, but, talking about doing that and people who are investing more into DSLRs because they're seeing that there are some things that just, you just can't get out of your cameras. That the Fuji X-T3 that I have, they now have a Fuji X-T4, but even this is about $1,000 less for the entire kit than what I paid for just a year and a half ago. And it's still a great deal, great buy, and all that other stuff. But that wasn't one that I actually had on there.
I'm not putting my camera on there either, but this little device for $120 so that you can plug it in and make it an input is like, it is a level up for sure. So I recommend you can look into that. And
you're actually using your camera right now to stream, right? And I'm actually just using the old crappy one. And of course, look how old it's making. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's not the camera.
That's reason alone not to use those crappy webcams. Yeah,
exactly.
They add 20 years to the face.
Now, this one I want to do, it's still work from home, but it's a little bit more of a medicinal, and I'm kind of like winding down on my list.
Okay.
And this one's
I'm winding up.
But this is a little bit more on the medicinal side of things. So if you want to queue up the link,
here we go.
It is the architecture of the shot, and
nice.
It's crafting the perfect shot from the bottom up, and just so there's the architecture of the cocktail, which I'm sure you've seen that book, and I've seen both of these books before. They're not new books, they're older books, but I always think that now it's actually more appropriate to kind of like revisit some of these books because
you got to take care of yourself.
You got to take care of yourself. It is something that you need. And I do know that there are some, we have some people that we know, friends of the show, just friends, architecture friends that are, they're connoisseurs of the cocktail and the shots and things like that. And these are all great things to do with those.
Have you been watching Mike Davis's Instagram feed? He's been posting. Obviously he's got this cocktail recipe book that he's following, and he's just going through and learning how to make these. And he's like, I present to you, the Vesper Martini, whatever it is. And it's just like, I'm like, yes, like.
I can't remember. I have seen it a couple of times. I can't remember. Does he like actually post the actual...
It's a photo of the finished beverage in the correct glass and everything. So,
but does he also like give you the recipe?
No. I don't know what book I have a really great cocktail book. It's like the PDX cocktail book. It's something like that. It's a hardcover. Like this one's kind of a hardcover. And it came out of a particular bar. And oh my gosh, the book is just unbelievably cool. It's just so well done, and it's all illustrated. There's no photography in it at all, and it's just gorgeous.
The thing that I liked about this one, obviously, it speaks to our heart. It's all kind of like architecturally detailed out.
So in this book, is it more drawings like this, or what's in here?
Okay. More drawings like this. Yeah.
So it's like showing you proportions of the different ingredients that go into the shot. Okay. That's really cool. Very cool. All right. Well, before I wind up, I will wind down with you, and then we'll leave the show with a bang here at the end here. But I got to show this. I got to show the good old standby Lamy Safari. And this year I'm going yellow. Okay. So I've got, let me hide this real quick. I've got the black one here. This is like, every designer's got the black one. But does every designer have the yellow one. I don't think so. I think it's the year to get the yellow one and add it to your quiver.
I had the yellow one with the black clip.
Okay.
In the black nib, but I like this one because it's all yellow with a chrome or stainless steel nib. So I like that. I like that a lot.
And I recommend. Let me see what I've got here, because mine has the black nib as well, and I think that this is a fine. But yeah. I actually like the medium in my fountain pens because you can always flip it over and get a finer line. So the medium's nice if you write larger, because the ink does spread. And I also recommend, I don't have a link for it here, but I'll try to get it into the show notes, is I like the Noodler's ink. I have the blue-green, which I really like. Or no, it's a blue-black. Blue-black is really nice. And I get it. You can get a refillable cartridge, or you can just buy the cartridges. But I have the refillable cartridge that I use with the Noodler's ink. And it's cool. I mean, it's just something to... I love having a pen, even when I'm on these Teams calls all day long. I like having a pen in my hand, and I do like to take notes in a real notebook. I think. So what do you got there? Let me.
I've got a Leuchtturm orange. Oops. Wrong way.
Other way. There you go.
Exactly. And the thing that I like about this, which is actually really cool with this particular thing, you can kind of like see like sketches and junk like that in there, and is that it's really good with fountain pen ink because the paper is actually thicker.
Yeah,
and
so makes a big difference.
I get very little bleed unless I'm like really going over an area. I get very little bleed on it, and it's just kind of like it's fantastic. And so I do like the thicker papered sketchbooks. So if I'm like drawing and trying to archive, things like that, and obviously, as well as I do, the old, tried and true field notes. This one is their field notes, branded one, but that came out thankfully just before the election. It kind of like a lot of different like election thoughts and everything else in there. But yeah.
Nice.
I like your pick because I kind of buy sketchbooks based off of the type of pens that I'm using, and every time that I have a Lamy, I'm buying certain sketchbooks because I know either what I want to either write or draw or anything else in, and so that
if you want something you can get. You can dip your toes into for cost, like it's a $20 pen.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
But
in fact,
but you're getting into a world where you can really obsess over things, right? Yeah. You're getting in. Yeah. You can. This is kind of just the gateway into the whole fountain pen thing. A lot of people don't like the way a fountain pen feels on paper. I say those people are wrong. You should write with it more often, and you'll get used to it. And you can get different nibs with different amount of ink flow, and I just think there's something really great about it because it's super analog, it's old school, and it connects us to where architecture has come from. I feel like remember inking on Mylar? Yeah. Like there's just something about that that's pretty cool. So you get a little ink on your hands too, and it shows that you actually do something.
Exactly. I always have it like up and down here. Lefties have got a little bit more of a problem only because everything
you're smearing it across the page.
Exactly. Everything is made for right-handed people. Damn it.
All right. You got a final or are we winding down? Where are you at?
I do have a final. Well,
all right.
It's a final and it's an at-home and it is for you. Okay.
I'm ready. Shall I push the button?
So
the magic button.
Push the button.
Here we go.
So this is from wow, I can't even read my own handwriting. See?
Put those glasses on.
It's from Good and Well Supply Company. And they have a National Parks series of candles, which is supposed to smell like that national park.
Oh, wow.
And since, you could, escape to Zion. I know that Zion has a special place in,
Yeah.
your heart.
Yep.
And, these are, fantastic little candles.
But you can bring Zion to you.
You can bring Zion back to you.
And so this is awesome. It's a candle. It's got sage and dried herbs, lavender in this one. So I would assume that like they've got different formulations for different national parks. That's the idea.
So this one is particularly for that, but and I specifically looked up the Zion, but they do have a whole series at the Good and Well Company. They have a whole series of national park candles, and so you can go in and Everglades,
Denali, nice.
I mean,
so this is gonna be a huge hit with my wife for sure, because she's already look at, they got Glacier, they got Teton. These are like the places I visited this summer.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So I was just like, this is something that I wanted to definitely bring up to you.
That's awesome. Yeah, perfect. All right, well, I don't know if this next one's for you or not. You're gonna have to decide. I wanted to go big at the end here, and I don't have one of these, but I saw this design and I just thought it's amazing what's going on right now in what is considered kind of coined as the micro mobility market. You're seeing Lyft scooters and Bird scooters, and you're seeing city bikes and all this different stuff's going on. There's alternative forms of transportation. There's the bike industry right now is like just exploding. You can't get bike parts. You can't get bikes. You can't get a time slot to get your bike fixed even, right? So, but what I'm showing on the screen here in this case is a Vanmoof e-bike, and it's an electric bike, 100% electric. And what's really interesting about some of the new, it's kind of like when Tesla came out and they just rethought how cars should be made, right? You're not going to have a transmission tunnel anymore. You're not going to have a drive shaft. So what are you going to do? You're going to change it, right? Instead of taking an old shell of a car and converting it into an electric car. That's what these companies are doing with e-bikes. They're basically saying, why take the kind of standard configuration of bikes and translate into an e-bike? Why don't we actually start over? So the one that I'm showing on the screen here, the Vanmoof, it's got the funny name, but man, the design of it is incredible. It's got integrated headlight, tail light. It's got an integrated drivetrain. This bike is totally secure. It's got an alarm system. It's a fully locked drivetrain. So when you park the thing, you don't even have to lock it up. They actually have a full-on, like, if somebody were to come and pick this thing up and throw it in the back of a truck, they have a whole network of people to get your bike back or to replace it. And so, like, they're offering the object, but they're also offering like this kind of cycling as a service. And now check out the frame designs here. I just think, like, again, when you think about what's possible with design and with 3D modeling, and how they're integrating the motor and the batteries into this, like, you can't even tell it's an e-bike, right? Like, normal e-bikes have this giant battery and wires hanging off of them. And so I love kind of how simple and beautiful and elegant these bikes really look. Really cool stuff. Now, if this kind of urban bike is not your thing, I want to show you the Super 73, which is kind of moto inspired, but you could take this thing off-road if you want. And what's cool is, like, this is still a bike. It's still got a set of pedals and a crank and a chain, but it also has a battery and a motor. And you can take this thing anywhere. So they've got, like, again, bikes in any style and any configuration that you could think of. You're not polluting when you're driving one of these things. They've got terrific range. You can drive them to work. You can drive them home on a single charge. They've got lots of different paint jobs and styles, and lots of, this is just one of the models that Super 73 offers at super73.com.
Reminds me of the old, the old 70s Honda trail bike.
Yep. It totally is inspired by the old trail bikes. And then they have ones that are more, city versions. They don't have like full suspension. They've got just, yeah, there you go.
Fantastic.
That one is just very cool looking. And I saw this one actually at my local bike shop for $1,300. So here you go,
Wow.
$1,260. And it's very retro looking. It's really cool color schemes. And again, it still works like a regular bike. If you need to get out of a jam or if you don't want to be using up your battery, and then you got the battery when you need it. And then just, you know, there's other incredible stuff going on. Like, I bet you wouldn't guess that this is a Harley Davidson, you know, but they have their latest e-bike. And so I just want to kind of open this up as like, it's an amazing category. Like this one's got built-in storage. It's so cool.
I mean, sure, if you're, you know, adverse to pedals.
Yeah. Well, this one looks like it has like skateboards on, like a skateboard cut in half on both sides, and you kind of stick your feet on these little skis. It's so no pedaling. And
I mean, it's totally cool, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they are pretty damn cool.
And again, like I think it's just opened up this whole new world of design around mobility and getting around. That's just, you know, there's this whole like terminology called the last mile, and it's like, if people don't own cars anymore because they're using Lyft and they're using Uber and they're you know, using ride sharing, but as that becomes more and more prevalent, and as the electric busing systems get more and more prevalent, they're not going to be dropping people off at individual locations. They're going to be bulk getting people to and from. Right. And then you've got that last mile of getting to your house or getting to your office or whatever that thing is. And there's more and more personal options for electrified mobility nowadays than we've ever had before. So some are very small and they'll fit in a backpack like an electric skateboard, and there's other larger ones like these. So lots of cool stuff happening in that space.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, those were great.
So I can't believe that you didn't like pull out the bomb shelter here. Like 2020, this was the year.
You know, I looked at things like that and I was thinking to myself, you know, those are just too easy now. I mean, those are the ones that,
you were really ahead of your time.
Well, see, if you would have bought them then, you totally would have been perfect. You know, you would have been ready for now.
I'll have to put a link in the show notes to the old versions of the show where Cormac had the e-tool and the bomb shelter. And
if you had all of that, I mean, if you listened to me then and you were a prepper and you went ahead and bought all that stuff and you're like years worth of, you know, food supplies and everything else, you'd be good to go. So, I mean, I don't need to talk about that because you're probably listening to the show from your bomb shelter and you're good.
Yeah. Like, tell me something I don't know.
Exactly.
On your ham. Well, that was fun. That was a fun episode. Well, again, we'll have links to all of this stuff in the description under the YouTube video and in the show notes in the podcast player and in the show notes on the episode page on the website at archispeakpodcast.com. And happy shopping, happy holidays. Make yourself happy. Take care of yourself this year. I don't mean go spend a bunch of money, but like do something for yourself and make yourself happy this year, dear listeners. We would love it if you did that. Yeah,
and you know, well, as I do, you need that milk frother. I mean, you just do.
We'll have to put that one at the top because everyone's just going to click that link. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Until next year.